Welcome to my popcorn practice video. This is the assignment that we're working on in drawing class. I took a photo of a single kernel of popcorn and we're going to practice hand-eye coordination, recognizing shapes and edges and shading as well. So what you need is a 9x12 sheet of paper. That's your kind of sketchbook paper that's in your kit. You could use any kind of paper right now, actually, because this is practice. This will not turn into a final project, but more of like a practice exercise. You can access this photo on Microsoft Teams. You might choose to print it out if you have a printer, so you have it nearby. That's up to you. We're going to sketch with a B or an HB pencil. And I recommend these because they're light and they're erasable, and then we'll shade with darker pencils. So I'm going to move these. I'm going to grab my B pencil and my eraser. And this is what we did in class the day before, just to see what the end result will be. Please do not draw life size. Do not draw a tiny little kernel of corn. It's about as big as my palm, actually, in the end. You can see the size comparison to the eraser. And I was just starting off by looking for general shapes and angles. So when I start to sketch, I just want to see how much room, how much space the object I'm sketching takes up. So even just, I know it's pretty light, I can make it darker. Just by starting off with the major shapes, so I can see where things are. I'll sketch a little darker so you can see it. This is just, I'm looking constantly from my paper to my image, to constantly look back and forth. There's a corner down here. And I'm just going to talk out loud and what I'm thinking. So just getting the basic shape. How much space does it take up? Where are the straight lines? Where are the curved lines? We start to get into some detail. I'm drawing at my own pace, but the beauty of having a video is that you can rewind, you can slow it down, you can pause, so that you are able to work how you work. There's a bigger gap in between these. Maybe this is higher. Notice I haven't used my eraser yet. It's very tempting, but it can also almost kind of hold you back when you're just starting out with something. So let your pencil just move around the paper. I'm holding it not quite all the way to the sharpened end, but not way back here. That's for what I'm shading. So kind of in the middle. And be forgiving to yourself. This is practice. This is something I'm going to assume you've never drawn before. And it's just allowing you to strengthen your hand-eye coordination, your observation skills. This is too big. All right, now I'm ready to start with my eraser. Start to clarify a little bit. I think that's bigger. So here's the shapes I'm looking at. I'm going to put a piece of plastic over this. I'm looking at kind of these shapes right here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of larger shapes, and then these smaller shapes that peek out from the sides. They're almost kind of more in the back. So then when I put it on white paper, then you can see the general shape of what we're going for. You can start to see the outline a little bit. It's going to look a little bit abstract because we're not drawing something that is nameable or recognizable in this way. This could almost look like a piece of crumpled paper or a rock. We know it's popcorn, but it doesn't quite look like it yet. So just at first, looking for identifying the shapes. Do you see triangle shapes? This is almost kind of like a square right here. Do you see an L shape? Do you see this V shape? So allowing your brain to recognize the shapes that are there and name them. There's almost, I feel like this is like an upside down heart kind of shape right there. Let me clean it up. Let's see. Allow yourself to make mistakes. You're not a computer or a robot. You will not do this perfectly. And neither will I. It's a matter of practicing. Practice makes better. Practice does not make perfect. So aim for doing your best. Aim for doing better than you did yesterday. Self-improvement, not self-perfection. This is a little off. Every line that you make, every mark is in fact a decision. You're saying, well, I think this is here. Well, I think this goes here. So every mark is a thought, is a decision. And then you're allowed to change those thoughts and decisions. That's what I'm doing right now. Changing my opinion. And that's important to evaluate yourself as you draw. Am I doing this right? As opposed to saying, well, I did it. I guess it's right. It must be right. But kind of thinking again, looking closer. It's kind of like a sharpness right there. So I think that's going to be my major outline sketch. I am drawing a little bit darker with my B pencil for the sake of the video so that you could see it. Typically I would draw lighter so that I can erase my mistakes better, or my judgments. So, but this is going to be my major outline. And then I'll look at details and shading. I think I'll do that in the next video. Okay. So, large. There's also, I'm going to shift this up a little bit. There's also a shadow down here, like a little shadow. And then there's a big shadow. And then one that kind of comes this way too. And we'll explore that next time. Okay. Happy drawing!